Honourable Chancellor, Chief Justice, the Unicef Resident Representative, the Deputy High Commissioner for the British High Commission, Madam Chairperson, members of the panel, all the you invitees who took the time to be here. I will be looking at the emerging profile from prosecutions in sexual offences cases in Guyana. Guyana, in responding to the changes in society in relation to the number and types of sexual offences being committed, passed a new Sexual Offences Act in 2010. This act is modern, and it looks at new offences compared to the legislation which existed before. The offences are defined unlike before, where we relied on the common law position. I will look at the most popular offences that we are faced with on a daily basis at the DPP's chambers, and that's rape of a child under 16 years, where there is penetration, and sexual activity with a child where there is no penetration. Sexual activity with a child family member, and this includes both penetration and no penetration. Sexual activity with a child by abusing a position of trust, and the positions of trust have been stated in the legislation. Rape of the adults. Penetration has been defined, and it's now extended to both. It used to be the vagina, now it includes the anus, and it includes all the other different aspects because, as I said, it's modern legislation. It's any contact, however slight for however short a time, between the mouth of one person and the genitals or anus of another. It's including but not limited to sexual intercourse, cunnilingus, fellatio, and intercourse, and female-to-female genital contact. Investigations. The Guyana Police Force, in keeping with the modern trend, now has the Sexual Offences Unit, and for children, there is the Child Advocacy Centres, which Ms. Greene spoke about, and I will not go into that. In looking at the emerging profile, a majority of the perpetrators are males, and a majority of the complainants are female children. This is evident from the statistics for the present list for the June assizes for Demerara. We have 177 cases for sexual offences out of a list of 301. And out of those 177 sexual offence cases, 126 are for children, either sexual activity, that's no penetration, or rape, which is penetration, 59%. The files for children are for females as well as male children. We have had files for one child as young. We heard about Kimani, who was only 2 years. We had files for a child as young as 9 months. And we have had for adult males as old as in their 60s. We seldom receive files where the perpetrators are females. Statistics. Since this new legislation, there has been a large increase in the number of cases being reported to the police, investigated by the police, and being prosecuted. This is very clear from the statistics for prosecutions in the High Court. In 2017, the sexual offences cases on an average comprise of about 55% of the cases listed. In 2018, on an average, 60% of the cases listed. And in 2019, an average of 55% of the cases listed to be heard. The counties of Demerara and Essequibo have more sexual offences cases listed to be heard, and they are on an average 55% of the cases on the list. Conviction rates. I will look at the conviction rates of the DPP's office in relation to statistics of convictions. So we'll have an idea how many offences are being committed and what is the reaction of the jury in determining the guilt of the perpetrators. It's important for us to consider the jury's reaction, as this sometimes is indicative of the thinking and the attitude of our people towards sexual violence in the society. For 2016, there was an average 10% conviction rate. 2017, there was an average 25% conviction rate. And in 2018, there was an average 60% conviction rate. So far for 2019, there has been a 32% conviction rate for Demerara, 12.5% for Berbice, and 0% conviction rate for Essequibo. We were able to move from a 2% conviction rate in 2016 and a 27 in 2017 in Demerara to a whopping 62.1 in 2018 with the advent of the Sexual Offences Court. And I must take this opportunity at this point to congratulate the Chancellor, the Chief Justice, and their hard-working staff who, with the funding from Unicef and Ms. Gittins, working together with them, were able to launch the Sexual Offences Court in October 2017. I take this opportunity at this point to thank Unicef for this invaluable contribution. Emerging profile. The emerging profile is that the girl child is being sexually assaulted by both trusted and non-trusting persons in her life, both inside and outside of the home, including institutions of learning. This is a very serious situation and it is very disturbing. It happens to all children regardless of race, culture, or the economic background from which they are. You heard my sister's story. Based on the evidence in these cases, it can be concluded that there's an economic and sociocultural reasons. There are economic and sociocultural reasons for the increase in the number of offenses committed. Given the alarming number of offenses being committed and given our small population, there is clearly a need to address the cause of this criminal conduct being perpetrated by adults on persons, the majority of whom are children and female children. This deviant sexual behavior affects the victims. We've heard of that. And this is not healthy for them. It affects them throughout their life. And consequently, these persons form our society. It affects the society. It also indicates that the perpetrators are mentally affected, which is causing them to commit these sexual offenses. So we have persons who are affected, who are complainants, and who are offenders. So it's a serious situation that we have in the country, and this is the country in which we live in, and these are the people with which we're living. I'm happy that UG has taken this initiative to address this very important issue, and I look forward to making my contribution in whatever way I can, and I thank you very much.